Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is your daily fix with us. It's February 6th or 7th, depending on where you are. Um, this is NFA OFC, not financial advice, of frickin' course. As usual, we are going to go over the big four. If you want to increase your DYOR, we're going to be doing it for you for a while with you, but you should be continuing these things without us. Just kind of carry them into your other trading. It's the base for a more successful TA, your trades, understanding the flow of the market. So, big four: market cap, dominance, Bitcoin, ETH, and then we're going to move on to Ape, Fanta, Kasuma. And if we have time, we're going to get to stacks and we're going to mark it up as though we're just looking at it for the first time and looking for entries as opposed to just the TA we've been doing with it for a while. Yeah, we didn't get to do the live trading with Pope today because of technical difficulties. Hey, we're talking about
want
you.
to get back to trading.
I know it's so hard sometimes.
IRL, one of those days, all day with like customer support services online and on the phone. Just kind of got frustrated, lost a little bit of technology. The day got away from me, and there's nothing really I can do about it quite yet. But we are going to look at it as if we were doing it, and I will be back as of tomorrow doing the same thing. I will drop the time around when it'll happen. I don't like committing to a time and then having those kind of things happen. So apologies for those that wanted to be there. But as Crypto Katie said, let's dig into it a bit.
Oh,
And
also, just so everyone knows, I'm on my my internet went out. Of course, you had issues too. I was online. My internet went out completely. A box just decided not to work. So I'm on my, what is it called? What is it called on your phone?
5G, your data.
No, I'm connected to the something or other. So on my phone. So if it conks out, that's why. But yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
All right. The big four that we always look at is our market cap. And I mean, it's doing what we've been saying it's going to do within this box. It wicked out a little bit. We have not settled in. You know, we got a lot of money movement in the last few days. We can see this is that up that we're looking for. Money is starting to flow into the market cap. We know we're going to have retracements. We had a bunch there already today, which is brand new candle, 3 hours ago. We've already had that pullback. Money has just left in the last little bit. But since Monday this week, as we talk about often, it comes in. So where it pulled up to and went to, you would have to check the times. But we know it got as low as the bottom wick, got as high to here when the candle changed. Same thing, our today, your yesterday, got as high as another 48.89 billion injected to a retracement to right about where we are now. Now, that's still massive money, obviously. And we're still in this consolidation zone. And it looks like we're on par for holding where our lines are supposed to be for what we were thinking. All we're looking for now is this retest so we can get to this 1.6 level, or just a big fat one of these that takes off and then holds. I'll take either or, but it seems our experience lately is they're doing this. They're taking the money in and out quickly. Pretty much doing what we say. Dominance, we can see right now, is definitely going down. So when we have money coming in, dominance going down, alt run. Absolutely. That's why smalls were pumping today. They were on sale. Chicken Little sold out. Excuse me. No Diet Coke. I'm out. Frustrated. So 52.44, 0.3%, again, doesn't sound like a lot, but when this is 50% of all those billions of dollars that are in the entire market cap, that's massive money that's flowing into the alts. And that's why we're seeing those little bumps, like we said. Let's look at Bitcoin, how we freshly marked it up. Coming right within these boxes. We want to stay in this channel going up. So far, we're staying on this bottom part. Not the best, but still within here. So we're going to clean it up a bit. We're going to leave the channel because this is just to tell us we want to go in this channel. This green channel here. This was from before when we came to, actually, we'll leave that one. And we've started doing, we have this spread that we were looking, and we had to stay above this line. We drew that line, beginning of last week. So we've stayed above it. Let's get rid of it. We were looking for the cross somewhere in this target. There it is. So let's get rid of that, clean this up a bit. So now when we're just looking at our indicators, our micro bull is telling us we're about to go. It might be compression because these lines are small, but they're still in the upward movement. Our Bollinger Band theory of the bottom red and green breaking the band and exiting at the green and red on the top, we haven't had that yet. And price is close to the dotted white line, which is the median price. We know it's second day of the week, money will probably start to inject the market. This will start to go up.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
I know you're saying that's the median price, and maybe I just missed this, but when it's sticking around the median price, what does that mean? Like, what am I going to consider?
It's showing you have compression at the average price. If something is far below the median, it makes sense it's going to work our way up. So when we set up our Bollinger Bands in the lesson, right? Top band is gold, bottom band is red, and the middle is the median price average, and we made it this dotted line. We take the gold at the bottom and we buy the fear, the red, right? Take the gold at the top band. The theory is it's always trying to fight to get into this middle white line, the median price. If it gets too high from it, it's going to pull down. If it gets too low from it, it's going to pull up. Critical greed here fired. Look how much we went down. Then we consolidated in this area. Parallel channel up. Right? Makes sense if we have an up, we're going to have that parallel channel down. You can see it right there. Boom. That one. Now we've had one up and we're consolidating just like we did here. This could be a perfect head and shoulders inverse. We could go this fast up here, right up into this 46 area. Huge possibility. But we've only just started to see a little bit of the spread, but we know with Bitcoin that can happen fast. Take some news or somebody bought something. And our indicators are saying we still have that run. But we also know we've been up and down in this little box, and we've been saying that for ages now. Probably going to stay in there unless we get that news. But we are still walking up that path. We'll get our 3 touches. We'll probably pull back, or we're going to do, just as I said, my 2 cents. Not financial advice, of course.
Is it silly then to, never silly, but like to look at the weekly on Bitcoin just to have an idea?
Never zooming out.
Yeah.
The expression is when in doubt, zoom out. What else? Yeah, we'll leave that on. Right? So There's your weekly. We took off, right? Remember when I said goodbye? And then now, critical gear, we're having that pullback of people taking profits from in here and in here. And we've been fighting this rectangle consolidation here, right? And these are just our parallel channels from before. Let's take them off. All right. So we haven't got the curl, and we know that retracements are healthy. It was a hell of a retracement, of course, but no, since then, we've been going on and upwards. It stands to reason that we still are going to contest these areas up in here because we've already wicked up to them, which is support over here on the weekly. Right? We want to get in this next area, this low 50,000 to high 49s, and it's trying, and we have compression. Now it's time to manipulate the market a bit, take the profits you made from here to here, and then we go off again. Unless we see that curl. And we have it on the weekly, and we really have it on the daily. This is normal from all this gain. Absolutely. Now a little compression. And we can also measure how long did this compression take? 33 days roughly. Here's the start of our compression. So if it took the same amount of time, we're looking early March. I'm not saying it's going to, but sometimes it's interesting to see how those kind of things play out.
ETH starting, like recognizing these trends as they go through. Like there's seems to be just a lot of similarities as the coins go through. Difference for each coin, it seems like, but
yeah, and that's just it. The more experience you have in a particular ecosystem, it's more experience. 10,000 hours is mastery, is what they always say of it. Anything. This is looking healthy, starting to have a little bit of pullback right now in the total market cap. If the DOM starts to go up, alts like it just did, we just saw that wick. Alts will start to bleed in a bit if that trend continues. So if you're in trades, have a look. Ethereum. I mean, we've been talking about Ethereum since the start of the show. And it's been pretty much doing what we said it was going to do since the start of the show. We hit our entry when we were waiting for the curve. And if you were still holding, I'll do it over here so I'm not touching stuff. There's a 2.75 return on ETH, and we're on our way to the upside. We will probably have a little bit of consolidation in here, is what I'm thinking, because we have the resistance and we've just come up. That being said, as we all know, we need to retest this area here. We need to get out of this weekly consolidation. Which has been a 10% swing. Right? And we know this box is weekly, and these green lines are 4. And when we zoom in on the 4-hour, we can see we're off to the races. And we're just having a little bit of pullback after these last night's rise out of Ethereum. Started late afternoon, early evening yesterday. And remember, when you're playing with big money, chasing these smaller percents. So they got in around compression, say, not even the best entries, just around compression. And they sold up here. In one day, around 4%. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think ETH again is doing anything we haven't thought. We should see a little, and then hopefully over this compression area. Now, same thing, we could easily get one of these candles just by having a large amount of money being thrown into the market. So we know that's a 4-hour and a daily. We're going to have these levels of support and resistance on the way up. Right now, are we holding one in the past? Absolutely, right here. Bunch of wicks there. Oops. How far over does that go? Probably pretty good, even though that's a mess. So right now, everything we've been talking about in the top 4 hasn't been overly a big surprise. Especially when we look at our tools and our indicators, when we're just using that alone, we knew we had a dip coming here. We talked about it. We knew we wanted the belly. We have it. Now we know we're off to the races in these areas. So we'll probably have a little pullback, let's say here. And then our next area is probably going to be up in that 25 because people hate round numbers. That's right there, right on that support resistance. If I was in the trade, I'd be taking profit probably somewhere in these wicks right there. I'd take that for, presuming I got in on this pullback. But there's how many hours left? 20.41 minutes. Like that's a long time to have some retracement. And we're looking at the daily. You would just zoom in. Yeah, there's a little bit of healthy retracement. Still looking. On the 15s, we're going to have a little bit of pullback. So you might get that nicer entry if you were looking to get into Ethereum for the next slower trade. That's what I would do. I'd go on the lowers, wait for a little bit to come, enter, and then you're off to the races for the next few days.
I'm having a hard enough time organizing the prices at the time that I'm looking for on the daily, let alone going down and then trying to figure out what that one is.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say, like, you're never going to time your best entry and you're never going to time your best exit. So you just got to have a little faith in yourself too, of going, hey, I've been watching this. I've been learning it a bit. That's where I'm going to do it. And don't panic if it drops a bit from your entry, because we know we're not in it for the very short term. If we're going a few days with it, that's the plan. We know in those few days, there's going to be lots of this. Right? So when we're filling out our trade journal, which is in the modules of the downloadable forms, even on winning trades, you should make notes. I could have zoomed in on the 30 or the 1 hour time zone and got a better entry, right? Or the same thing for an exit, and every time you improve that little tiny bit more, we saw that difference from $1,000 with 1%, from $1,000 to 1.5%, right? It was over $200,000 difference. All righty. Let's look at these that we've been doing. For the trading budget, I know I've had a few DMs about it, and apologies that try to get the IRL all finished up as fast as I can. I will have a channel made in our Discord that will have either a spreadsheet or a little graphic that'll say what token on what time frame basically that I'm looking at, and then a price average of where I'm going to look to get in and where I'm going to look to get out. Just kind of like I've been doing on the show with these gold circles and saying around here. All of this has been slow trading. if you followed from day one and you listened to all these little calls, you've been doing very well. I mean, we said short the fuck out of Casper from pretty much a couple of days in, and that's probably well over 20% still. So the slow trade part will be more the sheet that'll be posted in the Discord. Fast trades are exactly that. There will be no record other than watching because the trade's long gone, and that's just the nature of the different styles. But if you want to learn how to fast trade, you can tune in, you can watch. And if you want to have slow trades and questions, there'll be a channel of the actual trade. And of course, the questions channel or the general chat, you can always be like, okay, hey, what's going on? Ape, let's do this.
Also, these are going to be projections of where you may enter. It's not going to be exactly, and it's going to be sometimes so fast that you're going to be doing it without being able to record it too. So, you still need to do your own thing.
Long trades, you get that little bit of fluctuation because of the time and how it goes up and down throughout the day. That's what I mean. You might not catch the best time. Don't sweat it. We're going for longer periods of time with those ones. But yeah, always also use your own judgment, not financial advice, fucking course, and never play with money you can't afford to lose.
And you may see something that Pope doesn't. It's
always go
not
with your spidey sense.
Yeah.
Always go with your spidey sense. Sadly, we never got the cross, and we can see we're starting to get our micro bear telling us, oops. We never got it, and now the lines are spreading again. So our micro bear indicator is saying ape is going down. It's holding this area right now, just because it's literally right now with 20 some odd hours to go, of this support, which is also here. That's a lot of time to have some wicks down into these levels when ape is already a pretty wicky coin. So this might be a stop loss hunt here coming for ape. It might be a good opportunity to look at maybe putting some, really low possible entries in. That's a little still risky for me. I like to see that curve before I start longing. But you could look at short-term shorts for it for sure. That's the sad thing about this token right now. As an ape lover, obviously, we are now on this line here that we were talking about before, where this mostly supported it at the time. Now we can see it has not. It has broken that trend. We can sell. We have support here, little resistance now in here. We're on that way. It still could do the retest and take off, and that's what we'll be watching for. We'll see. That's a tough one for me. If it's my money to make money, next. Phantom is lining up like we were hoping it would. Remember, we drew this before these lines were here. So right now it's falling, or following rather, that path we wanted it to. It is absolutely, and remember, this game has patience. It's absolutely still holding this line and consolidating in here. We haven't had the retest. We need this candle to go out and not in, or we're going to get a better price. And we're waiting for this curve. But so far, to me, it looks like we've kind of called that curve. So if this candle is the retest, we're going in, and it's going to be in this price point in here. That high, mid 3.5s to 3.6. That's where we're going to try and target if it follows this plan. If it doesn't follow this plan, that target's just going to get lower, because we know it's It's a great meme, great token. It's been around for a long time. And these percentages, it just hadn't had its turn yet. And there's a lot of different, where's our price action? It's right on that line. You know, sometimes it just takes different areas to pump and different tokens. And we know this has been high before. We're having this weekly support in here. And we just haven't broken these lines yet. So this is one, yeah, if you took those notes, I'll put this on the sheet that I hope to have all done by tomorrow. And I'll have my entry on Phantom. Right now, I don't have an entry on A. But somewhere in here, if this candle closes proper, damn, means we're off to the races. And sometimes, you know what? It's not a bad idea to throw a limit buy in down somewhere in here. You may catch a wick. And then it bounces back up and you just got a hella entry. And you can sell right away and take your profits. It does happen. It doesn't hurt if you have the capital sitting by. I mean, that one wick alone, 9.2, right? So if you have the capital, it's just sitting there, you know, tied up a little bit with a good entry where it looks like it is doing something like this. And if you miss it, just cancel it and get in for when you're ready. These are the kind of strategies I apply when I'm looking for these, because like I said, I like to safeguard my capital. There's smarter ways to make money. And it starts with patience, strategy, understanding how our tools work. Here we had a call to get in on Kusama at 37, you know, whatever that was. I can't see. 0.5068. You know, if we would have took it to its high on that was 5.34% in about a day. Here we're at 2.67. We've had this broke out, this candle here, same thing. This needs to stay green and out and to the races. I'll put an entry.
Can we, I'm sorry, I don't know if you're seeing, I'm seeing a very small.
Yeah, see, I'm used to doing it that way. My bad. Thank you. Thank you. Always interrupt for that. It's like when I would do it in my living room and nobody would tell me the TV wasn't on when you're trying to watch what I'm doing on my screen. So on the daily, we're looking in this area right here for our market entry. We know we're going to have pullbacks, but I am still going to wait for the retest of that candle. Otherwise, we're going to get a better entry down here. But our consolidation box has been telling us it's holding minus these times right here, and we can see how much it pulled back. So this will be a longer hold slow trade for us, is Kusama. We've been learning about it since we've started this show. It's lining up. It's been doing what we said. This one we'll probably make some money on. So weird not to be drinking Diet Coke for the show.
You're not drinking Diet Coke. I'm not vaping. You know, miserable today. The internet's not working.
All right, so let's hide the indicators. Let's look at this as if we've never seen this token before. But we're really excited about it, like I am. How do we know? How do we get to where do we buy? Where do we sell? The first thing I want to look for is, do I see any patterns? If you have those sheets that were in our module section that you print off on candlestick patterns, we can kind of see we already have that formation of a bullish wedge. Now, we also might have a head and shoulders, somebody called out. And that's very possible. With the market direction we're going, probably not. Healthy profits, healthy retracement, consolidation, we should be back up to the races. How do we know? Let's find out. We're looking for what we've been talking about, that confluence. So this is really jumpy. We're on the day, somebody use the daily rectangle. Looking for the support, any of that resistance support, right? Resistance, and here we are. So the majority of the price action right now is within this rectangle showing, right? So we can see we had a parallel channel up. We've had a trend line come down. Here's your retest, off to the races. Now we pull down again. And we've been just also within this big area. We have this area of consolidation. So we have consolidation within consolidation is one way to look at it. I'm just trying to get you to see a couple patterns here. First off, this is what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to do a trend line or parallel channel typically. I'll grab my daily. I'll go from the localized high where it switched to low, and I'll go to my last candle that closed, which is the green one. So it means I go to the top of the candle because that's where the price comes. I usually put the dash in the lowest point because if it doesn't retest, it could easily keep following this channel. And it helps us prepare for better price action if we don't get the retest. So again, this is one without sounding like a broken record where I'm waiting just right now by looking at it without any of our indicators. And so far we have two tools on this. Parallel channel and an area of consolidation. Ways to look at now this rectangle. This bottom line forms, see we have the support here, but if you want to make it easier, more visual, there's your triangle. Oops. Right. So there's our wedge bouncing around. We got this retest here. We're off. Oop. Now, I'm just doing this for, don't take this as the price point. When I'm saying I'll post this in a channel, I'll post the price area that I'm looking. And it hops around like that, like crazy. So now we got three shapes: parallel channel, rectangle, and circle. That's how I'm looking to find my entry. We know about the horizontal lines, support and resistance on the daily. We've already got this one measured, right? Because it's the top of this rectangle. We can already see there's one right in the middle. Like we said, there was that inner rectangle and the inner one. So we're having this support here. This makes sense that it wants to break out and go. Now, you can go from current price to say there's 8%. To say there, which is this over here, 14. Over here, 20. And once we know we have compression, we get a compression. Lots of profits taken, no doubt. Yeah, profits were taken. Compression, now it's ready to go. That's all just by three shapes, price action, and knowing the little candles. What do our indicators say? Oops. Now I want to hide the drawings. We were talking about healthy retracements. Boom, there's our parallel channel, compression. Even our micro bear is just waiting for the cross. We got an entry here. That's a risky entry. We still don't know if it's going down yet. It didn't. That's why I say we're never going to time our entries perfect. But I'd rather err on the side of caution than going the other way. Looks great, hindsight. But when you're in that making the decision, protect your capital. Wait till you have more confluence. So it's like, without even looking at the indicators, and we put our TA over top, that it's all pretty much in agreement. And that is what we talk about confluence. And we already know from here to up here is 20%. Now, if you don't remember stacks, this is a layer 2 solution of Bitcoin. You may have heard of Bitcoin, our ordinals, or all these other little things everybody's losing their mind over. The only reason those work is because of stacks. This is going to be huge. This is the Matic of a few years ago. In my opinion, not financial advice, of course. Right? So now we know we're looking in this area and we're on the daily. And we talked about earlier, like zoom in. Let's find out. We know in a day a lot happens in these candles. So if we zoom now in the 4 hour, we can see we just came out of a little bit of a micro bear. We're probably going to pump for a bit. And then we'll probably look at these nice ebbs and flows. This is what we're looking for. These are beautiful. I like finding these on low time frames because that's fast trading. So on the 4 hour, it looks like we're going to go up for a bit. Does it look like on the 2? Taking off. Look at that. But we're having these healthy retracements. We know if we get a good candle today on the pullback that retests this, we're off to the races. If we were watching this on the 4 hour, we're at where the cross is about to happen. And this is our retracement on the 4 hour. So when this candle ends in 21 minutes, if it goes tink and it's out, a quick trade on the 4 hours would be anywhere from in here on its pullback or over, most likely looking for support and resistance. Look at all that over here, right around where, I have no idea that was on, where this is. And we're about to get the cross. So if you want to maybe catch a wick down a bit, maybe put a limit buy entry somewhere in here. And if you think it's about to take off and you're missing out, like I said, you're not going to time the bottoms. You're not going to time the tops. You market buy if you want to, which just means take the price of what it is right now and then wait. But I'm always trying to save that little itty bitty bit more. And on the 30, we can see we pulled down. Now we're starting to pull up. This does, outside of this curl, look like it wants to start to go up again. It's fighting right now here. So even on the 20, because I'm looking on the daily of getting in, or sorry, on the 30, we're looking on the daily to go in. We haven't retested, so we know we can still pull back. On the 30, we can start to see the curl. And we know on the 30s throughout a day, there's going to be lots of candles. If this comes over and this curl and this line starts to go, probably a good time to get in. We have been in this up motion.
Can you just check and see what those, when you're done, obviously doing what you're doing, what those little, those jump ups and the green candles, what percentages approximately those are?
Yeah, sure. You want that one right there? Is closest? Or here, let's do this. Let's see how average they are to each other. Let's get Okay, just off of fucking eyesight. There's one there. Let's go to the top of that one, to the bottom of this wick that's on the circle, roughly about 1%. Right, and these are in 15-minute increments. That one's a little bit longer, clearly. Lots of 1% in these, but also lots of 1% on the way down. Right. So in and around that area.
Yeah, the percentage is larger on the 15 than I thought it would be. But these are large candles for what it is. But
well, are they?
Well, I mean, don't do that.
Right. So right now, Stacks is, along with the others, absolutely something now that I'm looking for an entry on. It really looks like we're about to get that cross and go off to the races. I'm going to be watching our market cap. I'll wait for a little bit of a pullback. If the market cap is starting to pull down, which it is, and DOM goes up, we know we're going to get probably a better price. Does that all make sense? So, and if you want to put
I think so. I don't know if anybody has any questions just to follow up. Just because we just went over a ton of stuff. If everyone want to ask in the comments, just let me know.
So I'll put up Ape. We said no, unless you're shorting. I'm not into shorting. Phantom, we know we're about to have an entry. Kusama, we're about to have an entry. And Stacks, we're about to have an entry. I'll be watching throughout the rest of the evening. I'll throw up this graphic of where I think we can get in and where we can get out. It makes sense that we're going to be somewhere in here. And then what do? We reassess. So if we say, hey, we're going to probably get in this route. Right? And we just want to get in and probably get out around, somewhere where these wicks are. That's a quick 4-4. But if we're in this position, if this is what happens, and we get the cross, and then a little bit later, these start to spread, and there is no sign of curl at this level, why would we cash out? That's when we say it has legs to run. Let it run. Move your stop loss up so you're constantly in profits if you can't sit there and watch. Right? Because if it pulls back and you get stop lossed out in profit, as I always say, you want some money or no money.
There's some money is the answer to your question. And I have a question for you. Ashley was asking, and I feel like I want to try to answer this one first, but it says, if you had to pick one of those three, which would you do? And my answer would be, that's a little bit of a trick question because it depends on what's going to happen as we're watching it.
Yeah, my gut where I'd be watching out of all of them is definitely Stacks because of what it is in comparison, and it's on the hopium of what is happening in the ecosystem, and Bitcoin needs it. Bitcoin needs to be a lot more efficient, and people are catching on. So that's what I would say. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'd still be monitoring. Do we get that retest? And if I'm not looking for that retest and I just want to get in and catch one of those percents, yeah, that's fast trading. You can absolutely do that on the lower time frame because we know we're going up in that general direction. But that's only if you're not waiting for the retest, get out, and never use all your capital. Have some to the side. So if it does come down, wait for consolidation, dollar cost entry. So I'm loving this question. Any thoughts on the Monero and other privacy coin listings on Binance? I'm adding a few to my watch list because I can see a scenario where some of them rocket with the right narrative. I 100% agree. In our Discord today, this morning, people were going, "Hey, this coin is on our list. Why did it just plummet?" The Monero XMR is the token name, and it's because it is what's called a privacy coin. It works in the concept of Web3 being, you can be, for lack of better terms, somebody help me here with the word.
I got nothing.
You can be, anonymous, for lack of better words. It's like on Mexi or BingX, where you don't have to KYC or AML. Know your customers are anti-money laundering. It's anonymous. Thank you. I was looking. I was stumbling. You probably witnessed that sometimes in the modular videos. I do trip up on words because I'm usually a little more ahead in my head. So I do, again, appreciate all the time. You guys are killing it in the Discord. It's nice to see the wins that you're all having, the questions that you're asking. I've already got quite the list of things to be already adding to the modules for anybody that wants to go through again or hasn't from hearing your feedback. Some more tools and cool shit for you guys as we're actually trading. And that's everything that I have. Sadly, with IRL, I wasn't really in front of machines today. So that means I get to go another day without making any sheep decisions. And I know the CryptoKitty was kind of in the same boat. So there was no chickening out or no chickening in for her either.
If I had internet today, I may have made some choices, but unfortunately, technical difficulties made me a chicken a little bit today. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's the right time.
If you guys are like wanting for us to look up certain coins or things like that, I mean, throw them out to us in the questions and say, "Hey, what about this? Is this an entry?" And if it's obviously a little bit of a longer trade, we can take a look over the next however many days. But yeah, and because of my internet today, I was just thinking, just be really careful if you have a laggy internet and you're making trades and you're clicking that button of buy and sell, because I accidentally doubled the amount of money I put into BitGet once because it took a while for it to work. I double clicked it again just because I didn't think it worked. And then I doubled the money in there. So just be really careful about your internet speed and things like that.
And your trading computer should never be used for anything else. I am hardware, software separations. You'll notice the multiple computers plus the one I am on is multiple different wallets, multiple different computers. I know in the beginning that's not in everybody's budget, but hopefully down the road that does work for everybody soon. And it's always just security and your protection. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. I will keep you posted tomorrow if I can get all this work that I didn't get done tonight. And that means we're doing the short term, the quick trading. And outside of that, happy Tuesday. Show 21. 22.
22.